she was in his likes, in his DMs. He said something about her saying like he was her one or something. And he, I swear, was like pitting me and Meg against each other.
Was it Meg interested in Alex? Did I miss it?
Yeah.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm still going with Love is Blind. This season has really been so slow and so boring. But anyway, I don't get why we needed a very short pod squad event. That there was no point in having that. We actually spent more time on them going up and down the hill than we did actually seeing the people. And then I don't know who came up with the genius idea of coming back with Madison. Madison didn't need to come because you could tell from everything she was saying, it was very toxic and very disruptive. She was just there to cause havoc, and that's all she was there for, nothing else. And am I surprised that Lauren and Dave split? No. We all saw that coming, let's be for real. We all saw that coming. Dave got the egg somehow, and he never sort of got over that. And so it was a waste of time to ever assume that he and, Lauren were ever going to make it work. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 8, Episode 11. So you have Lauren and Dave sit down for a chat. This was coming. It was just a matter of time. We all saw this coming. The problem is Lauren forced a relationship that wasn't there. I don't know whether it was because she wanted to be on TV or whether she really had emotions for this man. Because the moment she threw a fit, when she found out that maybe Molly might be his number one, and then he ended up choosing her over Molly, that's the moment she screwed up, really. Because they sit down for a conversation. He is adamant that, unfortunately, it seems her dad didn't want to be on camera, but he was happy to sort of meet Dave off camera and have a conversation with him. So they sat down with the dad, had a conversation, and the dad felt some type of way about this whole thing. He felt as though David might not be ready for a relationship, and that, Lauren was ready, but he wasn't convinced that David was ready. And it's like, but Lauren is saying she was. Well, it sounds like a friends with benefits situation that she was in before she entered the experiment. When she's asked by David, she says actually she hooked up with this guy a week before she went into the pods, which complicates things further. Yes, I agree that his sister should not have a say on who he dates and how he dates them, but at the same time, you can't seriously, a week before you go in, you suddenly decide to hook up with someone. Why would you hook up with someone if you weren't serious about them? And also, apparently, when they left the pods and they came back from their holiday, the guy asked Lauren, well, he was texting Lauren because he wanted to find out, so where do we stand? What are we doing? And Lauren, on her part, apparently, she didn't understand why he was contacting her. And it's like, I have to agree with David, because he's right to say, if there was nothing there, why would he be contacting you? If you're saying we didn't have anything going, so there was no need to break up, why would he feel the need to contact you? Why would he want to talk to you? Why wouldn't he just sort of leave you alone to carry on with your life as you are? So it's very complicated and it's very complex in the sense that you have people that were in situationships, and I think David, on his part, got the egg, and instead of telling her that he got the egg, he is trying to look for an excuse to break up with her. This is why he's come up with a story about the fact that, oh no, my sister, she doesn't believe that I'll find someone who's genuinely here for love. And it's like, why is he saying that? Why does his sister get a final say on who he chooses to have a relationship with? And for her to say she wrote a letter, because Lauren is saying, I wrote a letter to give to his sister. He didn't give his sister the letter. Why would you need to give the sister a letter to explain yourself? Why didn't he just, FaceTime her and the two of you sat down and had a conversation, or even put a WhatsApp group for the three of you to have a conversation with the sister so that she can address any concerns? He's not serious about your love. There's no point. Am I surprised that they broke up? No. I'm not surprised they broke up, because it was we all saw this coming. We really did. We would be lying if we said otherwise, but we saw this coming. So you have the 4 remaining couples. Well, they meet up first before the pod squad meets up. And they're sort of doing sort of like a sleigh, sort of like going down a sort of a hill, but they're on those rubber circle thing. You can tell I'm not very active. Anyway, they all had an amazing time. They went down as couples first, and then the whole group went downhill. And it was really cute and nice to see everyone having an amazing time. That was the sweetest thing ever. I loved it. And then they moved into this reception area. So I was questioning what's happening now. Are they just going to sit down and have conversations or what? But then apparently it was a mixer for the pod squad. First to arrive was Lauren. The girls were excited to see her because nobody knew whether Lauren and David were coming. So the girls sat down with Lauren and they were just trying to console her and make her as comfortable as can be. I don't think she's a victim, neither do I think Dave is a victim. I think they're both at fault in this situation. Molly arrived next and Molly went and had a conversation with Lauren. I think it was producer driven. So they had a conversation and they're sort of talking about Dave, and you had Molly sort of say, oh, apparently David was seen with another girl. She was all over him. And, so I just want to give you a heads up just in case before you marry him. And then it came out that, Lauren and David split. And then for Molly to say, oh, I went on his Facebook, he's not that good looking. And it's like, I'm not buying it. I really am not buying it. I feel like it's because, things didn't work out. That's why people have negative things to say about Dave. When they were in a couple with him, when they were crying over him, they were okay. But now that they've split up, they're starting to nitpick and sort of pick him apart. I didn't like those comments by Molly. For her to say, I have your back, I'm going to support you, and thank you for, being so cordial to me when I was in the pods because, I didn't know we're dating the same guy. It's like, people should just keep quiet. I think people at times say things because they want to be on camera. So the more toxic stuff you say, the better for you. You have Brittany arrive, everyone greets her, the guys are excited to see her. And then Virginia goes to give, Devon a kiss. And it's like, why are you marking your territory? Virginia, you've got this man, that's it. You don't need to do the Lauren thing. Anyway, you have Devon go out for a chat with Brittany. I'm happy she spoke her piece because she said to him, I think our relationship or our conversations were going great up until I told you that, I had dabbled or that I'm bisexual. And he sort of said, oh, well, but it worked out for the best because I'm now with Virginia. And it's like, nah, I don't think so. I think something happened there. I think Virginia was his default. He went to Virginia because he couldn't get what he wanted with his initial choice. And this is why he's now saying, oh, no, Virginia was it for me. I love that you had Brittany hype up Virginia, but she doesn't need to because Virginia can hype up herself. But I found that a bit oxcalo. I really did. You have David come, the guys are excited to see him. They sit down for a conversation with him and sort of are just checking in. How are you? How are things going? Hope you're good. And he is excited. He's happy to be there. And personally, what do I think? I don't know about David, really. The fact that Molly and Lauren were sort of hinting that he might be a virgin, I don't think that's the case. You can't say he's a virgin while you're also saying he was messing around with somebody else. I think he's just somebody who's very confused and somebody who doesn't know or hasn't been in a sort of committed relationship, and this is why he's always consulting others, and hence the people might not be giving him the best ideas. So Meg and Mason walking together, holding hands. It seems they reconnected after they left the pods. You had Meg send Mason a message. Mason was busy looking for her on IG, and then they started communicating from there. They met up, they had their mini reveal, and they wanted to start off as friends. And it seems to be growing, and they seem to be really bonding, which is the cutest thing ever. And so that was really cute to watch. It was really cute to see how they were interacting. I really loved that for them. But then while they were telling their story, you could see on Madison's face that she was really calculating, what do I say? Why am I here? Because I think what Madison expected was Meg would never go back to Mason and Alex would be on his own, Mason would be on his own, and she would be the victor. And so to see that those people are moving on from her didn't sit very well with her, because you had her saying, she was having a conversation with Lauren and she was telling Lauren, after we left the pods, Meg was busy DMing Alex. I think she was trying to get with him, and then, he didn't get in touch with her. And also Alex on his part, he tried to communicate with me. He tried to rekindle. She more or less gave the Mason and Madison story, but in a toxic way, in a negative way, to paint, Alex in a very negative light. And it's like, why is she doing this? this is why when she was in the pods, I said she's very good at manipulation. She knows how to play on people's emotions, especially given how she grew up and the stories she was telling in the pods. She told the guys everything she felt they needed to hear in order for them to prioritize her. And after they prioritized her, then she turned around and sort of ignored them and sort of dumped them. She wanted to be the one who got to pick who she wanted and didn't want the other person to pick her. On his part, Alex is talking to Devon and saying it's been very hard. A lot of things have happened. If only, Devon knew what was happening, but he can't sort of say it. And it's like, what has happened? I think he found some stuff about, this girl that he felt if he repeated, it wouldn't come across well. This is why he was saying to Devon, I don't want to discuss it on camera. So I wish we'd really got a chance to see them have that conversation and find out, or have Alex sort of explain himself from all the allegations that were being made by Madison. You have Molly and David sit down for a chat. Molly is sort of calling out David, saying, you told me in the pause that you were afraid of commitment, and it seems you're still afraid of commitment because of the way that things have ended with you and Lauren. Lauren is an amazing girl. I'll always have her back. And I'm looking at her sideways and I'm saying, if only you knew how she behaved when you were dating this man. So the idea that you're fighting Lauren's battle, Molly, I don't get it. David is still talking about his sister. Oh, my sister this, my sister. I think his sister's code for an excuse. That's the impression that I get. I think his sister is a code for an excuse. I think he uses his sister to get himself out of trouble when he's in situations whereby he feels uncomfortable. I don't think his sister has as much control over him as he makes out, but I think David uses his sister as a way of getting himself out of conversations that he doesn't want to have. You then have him sort of having a confessional with the producers, and he talks about the fact, I think he was having buyer's remorse because he's saying, I wish I had been more patient, I wish I had listened better, I wish I had heard things differently. And it's like, just be for real. Just tell this woman, if you still like her, you like her. If you don't, you don't. Instead of you going up and down. So he went to Lauren, they had a conversation, and he's sort of saying to her, I wish I had listened to you better. And it's like, well, if wishes were horses or beggars would ride, it's pointless for you to wish you had done A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Things are where they stand. And if you like her, tell her you still like her. If you don't like her, just say so. For him to ask for a hug and stuff, it's like, it gives the impression that David just is like the wind. Wherever the wind is blowing, that's where the letter will go. Because it seems he doesn't have a mind of his own to sort of speak up or advocate for himself. So the next day you have Ben and Sarah go to church, and I think because Ben said he is religious and Sarah is not, because of reasons being, she said, she likes people that are acceptance of every single person, and for her the church doesn't represent that. So she went to church, I think, looking for answers, looking to see if it's something that should be open to doing. All I heard the priest talk about was the fact that he wanted, as many people to be converted and to, to know and love God as much as he did. And so personally, I would be just as confused as she is. I understand why she is confused. I would feel the same way if that's all the priest is talking about. He could have taught them about any life lessons, but instead he chose to speak about bringing more people into the church. You had Devon and Virginia, they went ballroom dancing. I assume they were learning a dance for their wedding. And it's like, have we run out of material? Are they that boring? Are they not confrontational or toxic? Is that why producers have decided to focus on this? Because even with Joey and Monica, they were playing racquetball of some sort. And it's like, can we not find other tasks for people to do? Can we not find something that sort of links and makes sense? And then Taylor and Danielle, they went for a photo shoot, for a Christmas photo shoot, because they said they wanted to make favors for their wedding to give to their guests. We all know they're really into sort of Christmas. And so I don't think anyone was surprised that this is what they chose to do. Danielle and Taylor, I think, have been the least toxic of the couples. They've been very sort of easygoing. And this is why production is struggling to really find anything to sort of shoot when it comes to them. You have the bride and the grooms to be sort of go suits and dress shopping. They meet up with Nick and Vanessa, and they're reminded of the process that in 4 weeks you get to say, I do or I don't. So now is the time for you to find your dress, and hopefully that's the dress you'll be wearing when you choose to marry your partner or when you choose to walk away. And it's like, this is the bit that I don't like, in the sense that people bring families and family members are heartbroken because they're not aware that their loved one is going to say no. First up was Sarah. She tried on her dress. Her sister spoke on her behalf, her gay sister, and her sister was saying, I know mom would have loved to be here, but unfortunately she couldn't. And I love this for you. I know you've got a good head on your shoulders and you will always choose what's in your best interest. And it's like, just tell her you don't want her to marry this man. That's it. That's all you're trying to say. Just say, I don't want you to marry this guy. I don't think he's good enough for you. And I think she would follow you because it seems you are her role model, and whatever you say, I'll do is what she goes with. I'm going to say this. I know the bridal shopping is dresses are meant to be different. It seemed like all of them were the same, bar Virginia's, which was glittery. Otherwise, all the other 3 gowns, they could have just rotated the same dress. It didn't make sense. You had Monica come out and her mom stood up there. She didn't say anything tangible, anything exciting, which automatically tells you that Monica and Joey are just going through the process. It's not that they're going to say yes, because her mother should have said something emotional, but she didn't. I loved Taylor's. She came out in her first dress and her mom was very picky on it. So she went and she changed for something similar, but just with higher sort of fronts, that way she sort of covers her boobies. And I loved that not only was Taylor's mum there, but you also had Daniel's mum there. And the fact that Taylor acknowledged both their presence, that I'm happy that I'm here with my mother-in-law and I'm here with my mum, that I really loved. I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. And then Victoria's dress, I didn't like. I'm sorry, I didn't like. Unless they changed it from glittery, I thought it was too shiny, it was too princessy. So I don't get it. The guys looked great in their suits. They really did. They were simple, and so it's going to be interesting to see who gets to wedding day and who says yes and who says no. You then have, the couples back in their apartments. You have Ben and Sarah. Ben and Sarah are sort of excited about their, air fryers. And it's like, seriously, there's more you could be excited about, not an air fryer. They actually take selfies with their air fryers. I don't know whether it's an inside joke that we, as the viewers, are missing. It would be nice to know. And then you had Joey and Monica. They were making pizza, so they were throwing around the pepperoni, trying to sort of flip it onto the pizza. That's them. They're very goofy as a couple, so I'm not surprised. We didn't get to see Taylor and Daniel. I assume it's because they're always laid back. Then we had Virginia and Devon. I think with Virginia and Devon, they're just looking for a storyline. I'm going to say that. Because at the end of the day, there's no need for us to continue to talk about this prenup. I would assume the show gets them to sign a prenup before they get married, or they do this thing on Married at First Sight. So I don't get why we're having this conversation, whether it's just them looking for a storyline because there's nothing else to discuss, or whether Virginia is looking for an excuse so she can say no. I don't get it. Devon on his part seemed taken aback because he was saying, if you're planning on getting married to someone and you don't see yourself divorcing, why would you need a prenup? I think in this day and age, nothing is guaranteed. And because nothing is guaranteed, you'd rather go in with a prenup than go in and then things go left and then you're suddenly left in this space where you don't know what to do with yourself. I know he said he needed to ask someone to look at it. Yes, he does. Be it the show's lawyers, be it his family, somebody outside of Virginia needs to look at it because he needs to protect his own interests, even if he doesn't have anything. If they do get married and things come up and the world suddenly changes, then he needs to be able to protect himself. So I get that. I can't wait to see the continuation of this conversation. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 10. Bye guys.